Good evening, hello, and wish you all a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Hope you are enjoying your evening after gulping some tasty modaks. So here we are. You're watching Chennai Quiz Factory's official YouTube channel. And what do we have today? India's T20 squad for the World Cup has been announced. And once again, more than the team, you all know who hogs the limelight. None other than our very own MSD, the new mentor for Team India. So in his new avatar as mentor. So this probably is a great time to release this video titled Out of the Park, which is a cricket preliminary round of, which was a cricket preliminary round of mileage 2. I have broken down this video into two parts for easy viewing for all of you. Got some suggestions for that. So thank you so much for all the people who have given your feedback. So I broken down this video into two parts, and let's begin and smash some balls out of the park. Here we are with part 1 of Out of the Park. So here we go with question number 1. Who and where? So look at this beautiful wall. Who and where? I thought probably I'll start off with a tribute to someone who's always been an underdog in India's team. So the answer is Rahul Dravid and Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bangalore. So the wall has a wall at Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bangalore. Moving ahead, Andrew Gordon Gantume was a Trinidadian cricketer who played for the West Indies in one test match versus England in 1948. He scored 112 in the first innings, sharing a 173-run opening wicket partnership with George Carew. Unfortunately, he never got to play another test innings, even in the same match, even though West Indies batted the second time around. At that point of time, he also held the highest average in test cricket without any qualification criteria in terms of number of matches played. So what was the reason that he did not play in the second innings, which is also the reason for him not to play another test for West Indies ever? A centurion on debut does not get a chance to play in any of the other test matches is quite rare. What could be the reason? The answer is slow batting. So he was scoring at around 22.4 runs per hour, which was considered to be very slow, especially with a strong West Indian batting lineup in those times. Moving ahead, name the three host nations to win the ICC 50 over Men's World Cup. So only three host nations have won the ICC 50 over Men's World Cup. Who are the three nations? And the answer is India, Australia, and England. India started the trend of winning a host World Cup in 2011, and then Australia repeated it in 2015, and England did it the latest in 2019. Moving ahead, who was the first and so far the only player in 2018 to win all the three major ICC awards: the ICC Cricketer of the Year, the ICC ODI Player of the Year, as well as the ICC Test Player of the Year? So only cricketers so far, and I'm sure you know who it possibly could be. Time's out. And the answer is, of course, Virat Kohli, India's cricket captain. Moving ahead, who is the latest in this list? Ari Foster, Jack Rudolph, Matthew Sinclair, Lawrence Rowe, Kyle Mayers, Brendan Kurup, and X. Who is X? This happened very recently, a couple of months, probably 2-3 months back. Who is this latest addition in this list? The answer is Devon Conway. So they all scored double centuries on debut. Devon Conway of New Zealand scored it against England in England. So that was the answer. Moving ahead, who was the first cricketer to win a Man of the Match award in one-day internationals for fielding? So this is quite rare. Someone winning a Man of the Match award for fielding. So who was the first cricketer to win the Man of the Match award for fielding? And the answer is Gus Logie. the legendary Gus Logie of West Indies. He held 3 catches and effected 1 run out against Pakistan in 1986 and winning the Man of the Match award for fielding. Moving ahead, which is the only team to have won the Under-19 World Cup on consecutive occasions? So Under-19 World Cup has gained prominence over the years. A lot of legendary players have come out of the Under-19 leagues. Which is the only team to win it consecutively? And the answer is not India, it is Pakistan in 2004 and 2006. Moving ahead, the top 3 players to score the most runs without a single century in one-day internationals all belong to Pakistan. Misbah-ul Haq scored a whooping 5,122 runs, while Wasim Akram came second with 3,717 runs. Who occupied the third spot with 3,266 runs without scoring a century? So 3,000 runs, 5,000 runs, these are all huge runs. And these players have made it without scoring a century. And the answer is Moin Khan. Moin Khan, the ex-wicketkeeper of Pakistan. Moving ahead. Ajinkya Rahane carries the nickname Jinx, which was said to be given to him by a former Australian cricketer as he was unable to pronounce his name during the IPL. Name this quote-unquote legendary Australian cricketer. So that was a clue. Ajinkya Rahane is nicknamed Jinx, given to him by a legendary Australian cricketer. And the answer is Shane Warne. When Ajinkya Rahane was with the Rajasthan Royals, Shane Warne gave him the nickname Jinx. Moving ahead, where can you find the following together? Spartans, Kings, Panthers, Warriors, Veerans, Dragons, Kalai, and Gillies. So Spartans, Kings, Panthers, Warriors, Veerans, Dragons, Kalai, and Gillies. So 8 names. Where would you find them together? The answer is the Tamil Nadu Premier League franchises. So these are the Tamil Nadu Premier League franchises. Moving ahead. Who has the highest innings score for India on debut in tests? Who has the highest innings score for India on debut in tests? So this player is in the news currently for some unpleasant personal things. And the answer is Shikhar Dhawan. So he scored a majestic 187 runs against Australia in Mohali, and 185 runs of those 187 came in a single day. Moving ahead. Which trio of Indian players is credited with having played the most number of test matches together? So which trio of Indian players played together for a whooping 118 matches together? 3 legendary test cricketers from India. Who are the 3? Time's up, and the answer is Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid, and VVS Lakshman. Moving ahead. In the inaugural World Cup for women in 1973, 7 teams participated in a round-robin league format. 2 teams, Australia and New Zealand, were from the ANZ region. 2 teams from the Caribbean, which were Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica. And 1 international 11 team had participated. The remaining 2 teams were from Europe. If one was England, who was the other team, or what was the other team? So we did not have any Asian teams in the inaugural World Cup for women. So which were the 2 teams from Europe, England and X? And the answer is Young England. So you still have Young England teams, not only in cricket, you also got Young England teams in football and other games as well. These are typically under 21, under 23 players. And so that was the second team from Europe in the inaugural World Cup for women. Moving ahead. Only 4 players have played more than 400 matches in one-day internationals. One is Sachin Tendulkar with 463 matches. So he holds the record. Who are the other 3? I'll give you a clue. All the other 3 players are from the same country. So only 4 players. Sachin Tendulkar tops the list with 463 matches. So who are the other 3 to have played more than 400 matches in one-day internationals? The answer is all 3 from Sri Lanka. 3 legendary players from Sri Lanka: Mahela, Jayawardene, Sanath, Jayasuriya, and Kumar, Sangakkara, my most favorite left-hander. Moving ahead, who was the first ever centurion for India in one-day internationals? So who was the first ever centurion for India in one-day internationals? Your time starts. This was probably the turning point of Indian cricket itself. This single innings can probably be the turning point of Indian cricket. The answer is Kapil Dev, the legendary 175 not out against Zimbabwe at Tunbridge Wells. So that innings at that point of time was also the highest ever score in one-day internationals before Vivian Richards broke it a couple of years later. Moving ahead, X had never been bowled in his international career. In what was his final? Has never bowled. I'm sorry. X had never bowled in his international career. In what was his final ever professional match? X bowled in the IPL and took a wicket of the very first ball, with the victim being Harbhajan Singh. That coincidentally was also the end of the match, with X having taken a wicket of his first and technically also his last ball in professional cricket. Who is X? A legendary cricketer, an IPL winning captain. He had never bowled in his international career, and he took a wicket of his first and technically the last ball in professional cricket. The answer is Adam Gilchrist. So Adam Gilchrist, I'm sure that you would have seen the video of him taking the wicket and then doing a Gangnam style dance like Chris Gayle. So the legendary Adam Gilchrist it is. Moving ahead, it is Nilesh Kulkarni in Test for India, Sadagopan Ramesh and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar in ODIs for India, Ajit Agarkar, Pragyan Oja, and X in T20 internationals for India. What is this list and who is X? So Nilesh Kulkarni did it in Test for India, Ramesh and Bhuvi in ODIs, Agarkar, Oja, and X in T20 internationals. Believe it or not, it is Virat Kohli. So these bowlers took wicket of their very first ball. Moving ahead, this is X, who played 1 test for England in 2008. He picked up 2 wickets and subsequently never played for England again. However, his younger brother Y had a much healthier career with 40 international appearances across formats, picking up almost 100 wickets. So he also played in the IPL, the younger brother. The younger brother also played in the IPL and picked up 11 wickets. So who are these brothers? This is X. He played for England. He had a brother Y who also played for a team in the IPL. And the answer is these are the Pattinson brothers. So Darren Pattinson was a player in the picture here. So Darren Pattinson played for England, while his younger brother James Pattinson is an Australian cricketer. So here we go with the next question. In a one-of-its-kind innings in cricketing history, what was Jeff Allott's score after facing 77 balls and getting out in the match against South Africa in 1999? So this was a test match. So in a one-of-its-kind innings, Jeff Allott scored X runs after facing 77 balls. What was his score? So unfortunately, his score was a duck. So he did not score a single run even after facing 77 deliveries. So we move ahead. In the 2004 Asia Cup match against Bangladesh, which Pakistani bowler bowled the longest ever over in one-day internationals? 17 balls that included 7 wides and 4 no balls. So who was this Pakistani bowler? The longest over in ODIs, 17 balls with 7 wides and 4 no balls as well. Huge over. The answer is Mohammed Sami. So Mohammed Sami was a very good bowler, but I think he had an off day. Moving ahead. So this is the final question of part 1 of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do watch the part 2 as well. And here we go with the final question of Out of the Park Part 1. Don Bradman had been dismissed hit wicket only once in Tests. Who was the bowler who is probably better known for scoring his country's maiden Test century? So who was this bowler who was also a very good batsman who picked up Don Bradman's wicket via a hit wicket? The answer is Lala Amarnath. So Lala Amarnath scored the first ever international Test century for India. So thank you so much for watching this video. As I said earlier, please do support us. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and get ready for part 2 of Out of the Park.